great Odin's raven.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This is ridiculous. Okay, I'll go.
Hello and welcome to the FilmPulse.net podcast, episode 25. My name is Adam. Today I'm joined, as always, by Kevin. How are you, Kevin?
I'm well.
Doing well. Today we're going to be talking about The Dark Knight Rises, giving our thoughts on it. We also have some Amazon Blu-ray deals to highlight. We're going to be going over our weekly predictions. And as always, at first, we're going to be talking about some of what we watched this week. Let me get started today by quickly recognizing the tragedy in Colorado. And rather than discussing it, I thought it would be more pertinent to simply read Christopher Nolan's statement, because I think his thoughts mimic our own here at Film Pulse. And I think that his words are more eloquent than anything we could come up with. So let me just start off by reading Christopher Nolan's statement regarding the tragedy in Colorado. I would like to express our profound sorrow at the senseless tragedy that has befallen the entire Aurora community. I would not presume to know anything about the victims of the shooting, but that they were there last night to watch a movie. I believe movies are one of the great American art forms, and the shared experience of watching a story unfold on screen is an important and joyful pastime. The movie theater is my home, and the idea that someone would violate that innocent and hopeful place in such an unbearably savage way is devastating to me. Nothing any of us can say could ever adequately express our feelings for the innocent victims of this appalling crime, but our thoughts are with them and their families. Why don't we get started by you telling us what you watched this week, Kevin?
Oh, what I watched. First one is I'm Gonna Explode, which is a Mexican movie by Gerardo Naranjo, who is the director of Miss Bala, which I've talked about a couple other times, which Miss Bala is a great movie, so I went back and watched his first one, which is, like I said, I'm Gonna Explode, which is about two teenagers who, the one is Ramon and Maru, and Ramon gets himself a gun and steals a car, and they go on the run, and they end up hiding out on top of his dad's house in a tent, and they just sort of wait. And it's very, if you're a fan of French New Wave, which I know Adam is a huge fan. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is essentially French New Wave, but Mexican. It's a lot like a lot of Godard films, like Breathless or The Pair of Fous, and those sort of like Moonrise Kingdom in that vein, how that movie was French New Wave in a sense, but this one's definitely darker.
Yeah, I when you added this on Letterboxd, I did look into it. It looks pretty good. Yes,
it is good. Really good performance by Maria Deschamps, who plays Maru. Thoroughly enjoyable. It was good cinematography. This Naranjo, I'm definitely going to be, like any movie that he comes out with now, I'm definitely going to check it out. Because, like I said before, Miss Bala's was awesome. And this one was just as good, especially for a first feature. Cool. So definitely checking out his films in the future.
What else you got?
I got to watch Bullhead.
Oh. Yeah.
What did
you think of that?
It was awesome. It was awesome.
What did you think of the cow scene?
The cow scene? What, you mean the one at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Beautiful lighting. The lighting was amazing. Pretty much the lighting in the entire movie was amazing. A lot of great cinematography too. And this is I'm gonna guess Michel Roscamp. This is his first film, right? I think we discussed this before.
Yeah, we talked about it before when I saw it.
Yeah. I'm definitely, like I said with the last one, I'm going to definitely be checking out all of his movies. And I'm definitely more excited because the performance by Matthias Schoenaerts was spectacular. And I'm really excited for Rust and Bone now because he plays the other main character alongside Marion Cotillard
No, I thought his performance was okay. I didn't think it was. I wouldn't call it spectacular, but
I thought it was very good.
I thought it was good. Don't get me
thought-
wrong, but he didn't feel like an actor to me. He felt like it was a non-actor. But then again,
I don't know. I thought that he portrayed his type of unique suffering
right.
that I don't think anyone else could. I mean, I don't know how many people in the world could actually like understand what you would go through in that situation.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was gonna say. He did play a unique type of character, so maybe that's just how that character.
But I thought that the portrayal of his suffering and what he's going through was very subtle. It wasn't heavy-handed. Like, they didn't just bang it over your head over and over of what this guy was missing out on life and stuff.
Well, plus for a good portion of the movie, you didn't really know.
Yeah, and
you didn't know what happened.
Yeah, now I know. When we originally talked about this and you said about a scene, I looked away during that scene. And I just had this look on my face like, oh my God. There was a lot more depth than what I originally thought. I thought it was just a guy that took steroids.
That's pretty much what I thought too.
That's what
I mean, even during the movie. During the movie, I was like, this guy's whatever. I'm not that into this character. But then as it unfolded, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you find out that he has to take them. It's not like he's addicted to them or anything. He has to take them.
Yeah.
And bad things happen, but it was really good. I was
Bullhead.
Definitely really into that movie. Definitely check out Bullhead.
Check it out, Draft House Films.
Yeah, that was great.
Anything
I thoroughly
else?
enjoyed that one. I did watch the Mesrine, the first part of the Mesrine movie. Did you hear about this at all or seen it?
That's the is that the Vincent
Cassel movie?
Yeah, Vincent Cassel movie?
Yeah.
Is it a remake?
I don't think so. I mean, it's based on a true story.
Or maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
True story.
It's based on a real life gangster, Jacques Mesrine, from France. And I watched part 1. I haven't watched part 2 yet, but part 1's Killer Instinct. And I mean, it's a pretty good movie. I mean, it's really good gangster flick. But what makes it even better is that it's all true. And it's just insane what this guy does.
Yeah, I read a lot of comments on this saying like it's completely unbelievable that this stuff actually happened.
He broke out of every single prison he's ever been in. Let's start off with that. And the first prison that he breaks out, he doesn't just break out and just go on his business. No, he gets a ton of artillery and goes back to the prison and tries to break everyone out. And has like a huge shootout. It's complete insanity. This guy was real.
And Gerard Depardieu's in it.
Yes. Yeah. He plays the guy, like the underground gangster that sort of gets him into it.
Yeah, I saw trailers for this. I wasn't. This is one that just kind of slipped through the cracks. I remember seeing trailers for it like years ago.
Same here.
I was like, that looks awesome. And then like I just didn't hear anything about it. And then just
same here. Yeah. But it is Play Instant. Both of them are Play Instant on Netflix. So that's why I was like, you know what? It's about time I watch these damn movies. So I'm gonna have to try and watch the second one at some point, hopefully by next weekend.
There was another movie called Mesrine about the same guy, but I don't know if it's related. I was pretty sure I saw another Mesrine, like an older one. This one came out in the 80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm surprised that I've never heard about this guy. Or there hasn't been more movies made about him. My God.
You got any others?
Dark Knight, but
we'll come back to that.
Yeah, we will.
The first movie I saw this week was called The Cake Eaters from 2007. This is starring Kristen Stewart, who we all love on the show.
K-Stew.
Let me tell you, I never thought much of her acting. And
I have to ask, why did you watch The Cake Eaters?
Okay, so the reason that I picked The Cake Eaters, I'm in Pennsylvania now, as you know, and I went over to Ryan's and we actually rented this movie. It turns out that this movie is actually the central character, Kristen Stewart. She has a disease called Friedreich's ataxia, which is a neurological disease, and it also just happens to be the disease that Ryan's afflicted with. And this is such a rare illness that when I found out about this movie, I was like, oh my God, we have to watch this.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, this is
has there ever been a movie done about Friedreich's ataxia?
Not that people don't even know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, most of the people that I tell that when I say that, like, he has Friedreich's ataxia, no one, they're just like, what?
Yeah, and I mean, this is a disease. If you've listened to the show before, you'll probably think that Ryan is drunk with the way he slurs his speech, but it's actually because he has a neurological disease. And I actually highly recommend checking this movie out because it is a very accurate portrayal of how the disease affects you. And
so is it who actually has it in the movie? Like, who has the Friedreich's ataxia in the movie?
Kristen Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart has it in the movie, and she is the main character, although there are several subplots that are happening. It's, I want to say, like, kind of an indie drama.
Okay.
Indie dramedy, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not a great movie. It's decent. However, there are several parts of it that I was just like, why do we even... There's one character in particular, and he has this little storyline that they follow him on, and I'm just... Anytime they would cut back to his storyline, I was like, what is the purpose of this? But going back to Kristen Stewart, I've only seen part of the first Twilight, and I saw a couple other things. Adventureland, obviously, we talked about that before. In fact, we talked about her before.
Yeah, we've discussed her acting numerous times.
Not big fans of her. And
I mean, she's done decent jobs in, like, Adventureland. I thought she was good in Panic Room and Welcome to the Rileys. But I'm starting to think that maybe it's not really her. Maybe it's the role. Yeah, it's the role she's getting.
I think that a lot of the roles that she plays, she's not right for. Because when you see her in The Cake Eaters, putting aside the fact that she has the same disease that our friend has, she does a good job acting as well. And going back to how she portrays the disease, it's very accurate. And not a lot of people probably realize that when they see the movie. But
no.
The way that she talks, the way that she, her posture, and the way that she walks, very similar. Like, eerily similar.
Is this... Like, how old is she in the movie? Like, is this, like, early onset? Okay.
So, she's 17 in the film, so she can still walk. And this is a degenerative disease. So, it gets worse with time.
So, this is, like... This would be the equivalent of, like, when Ryan could still walk.
Yeah.
But just needed help? Like, the handlebars and stuff? That type of deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, she can still walk, but it's at the point where it's getting difficult for her.
Okay.
And, I mean, I remember we've been friends with Ryan forever, and I remember when we were that age and him walking around and stuff, and it looks the exact same. At the beginning of the movie, when we started watching it, I was like, oh, I don't know about all this, because they showed her getting, like, these medical treatments, like getting all these shots and stuff. And I looked at Ryan and I was like, dude, should you be getting shots and stuff, like, on a regular basis and taking, because she had to, like, take all this medication and stuff. And Ryan doesn't do any of that. So I was like,
does Ryan not do it because he chooses not to, or because it doesn't exist?
No, I don't know. I was like, dude, maybe you should like take this movie into your doctor and show it to him. But so at first I was like, I don't know. And she was kind of like twitchy, like really shaking and twitchy, and that's not really how Ryan acts. Now, I also thought
He has, which I always call Pringles. Remember when he would eat Pringles?
Yeah.
And he has the large, it's more of like a large jerking motion.
right, but
It's not really twitching.
But when you see this movie, at the beginning, it almost looks as if she has MS, and this disease is different than MS. It's not the same,
Yeah.
and so she seems kind of more like shaky, and that's a little different. But as the movie goes on, that she kind of doesn't do that as much anymore, and it looks exactly as it looked with him. So.
How far does she go into the disease? Like, is
Okay,
it just
so
like early on and then the movie's over, or does she go like into it?
No, it's a big, and that's how I thought it was going to be, but it's actually a pretty big thing because she's pretty much the main character, so it kind of goes through a lot of her life with it. And early on in the film, she meets this guy, and he like helps walk her to a bathroom. And when she comes out, like they're walking together, and she explains to him what the disease is, and he goes, "Oh, is that why you kind of sound like you're drunk?" And I was just like, "Whoa, okay." They definitely did their homework with this.
Yeah.
And her speech is probably the craziest thing. Is when you hear her talk, it's really good. I mean, very, very impressed.
Well, the weird thing is because I was, just reading about it a little bit here, is some people that know people with Friedreich's ataxia say that she slurred her speech too much.
Probably.
And like they were like, it was like over the top. But maybe the people that they know are like early onset.
Well, see, that's the thing. When Ryan was that age, his speech was not that slurred.
His speech was pretty fine.
Yeah, the way that her speech is in the movie is like closer to how his speech is now. Like when you hear him on Ryan Watches a Movie, that's kind of how it is.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, yeah, she did over exaggerate the speech, because when you're 17 and you have this disease, it's not that bad. But when you're 30, like Ryan, it will be.
Yeah.
So, and it's a really, really terrible disease, and I really wish that there was more awareness of it, because I feel like nobody knows or seems to be doing anything about it.
No, this is something that seems to be like you said, a lot of people don't know about this, and I don't really hear that much about like research or anything.
Yeah, it is a very rare disease. I think it's, well, at least when Ryan got it, I'm pretty sure he said it was like 1 in a million.
Yeah, because I remember, I forget what age he was, but remember that at one point he found someone else that had it, like somewhat in the area, and he was like freaking out about it.
Yeah. So it's crazy. If you want to find out more, you can go to curefa.org. Is that correct?
Yes, it's Friedreich's Ataxia Research Alliance, and they do a number of things. It looks like they have like some bicycle riding to raise awareness and money.
Cool. We were actually going to have Ryan on the show today, but he was having internet problems. So hopefully we'll be able to talk about this a little bit when we do tomorrow's show on Ryan Watches a Movie. So
yeah, good, because I think it would probably sound better coming from him.
Yes, because
sort of discussing
the whole time, because I watched it with him, and the whole time we were just like, oh my god, like, holy shit, it's the same. So
it's a female Ryan on the screen.
You should probably also check it out.
Yes,
I'd like to get your opinion on it too. Just
yes,
to see.
Well, I mean, when you first said it, you're like the Cake Eaters, and I see like the cover for the movie. I'm like,
Terrible.
why the hell did you watch this? And then you say Frederick's the Taxi, and automatically I'm like, yes, I need to watch this movie. I need to see it.
And let me just, before we move on, I just want to say that it isn't a bad movie. It's actually a pretty good movie. In addition to Kristen Stewart, there's also Bruce Dern, who plays the father of the guy that Kristen Stewart starts dating. And it's actually a pretty good movie. So it is entertaining as well as kind of informative about Ryan's disease. So definitely check that out.
I will.
The only other movie I wanted to mention that I saw this week was a film called Detention. This is a kind of a horror comedy, and it's directed by Joseph Kahn. Now, he did Twerk. I almost said Biker Boys. Same difference. He did that pretty bad movie Twerk back when there was the whole street racing thing happening. And he also did a bunch of music videos. He does like a lot of videos for Eminem and Rihanna and lots of big music videos. And you can definitely see that in this movie. I would describe this movie as sort of a Scott Pilgrim, only like a horror version of Scott Pilgrim.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this movie. It was funny. There was so many pop culture references. It was ridiculous. Movie references, music references. They even make fun of the movie Torque in the movie. Josh Hutcherson stars in it, but he was also an executive producer on the film. And there's a bunch of others not very well known people in it. And then there's Dane Cook.
And then there's Dane.
But I can tell you that Dane Cook's not in it a whole lot, and he doesn't do a bad job. He's not annoying or anything.
He doesn't Dane Cook it up at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. He plays a pretty straightforward role as the school's principal. It's just so over the top and ridiculous. It doesn't take itself seriously, and I think that that's a problem with a lot of horror movies and even horror comedies that try to take themselves too seriously. I mean, this movie is completely ridiculous in every way, and it's a really frenzied film. It's always going at like 100 miles an hour. There's just shit happening all the time. There's time traveling bears, aliens, monsters,
whoa,
serial killers.
Time traveling bears?
Time traveling bears.
Awesome.
Yep. Alien abductions. The whole time traveling aspect of the film is actually really cool. And the way that it works, it's almost, they do it in a really cool way so that you have to almost think about it or rewatch the film. And I did actually watch it twice, and on a rewatch, there was a ton of stuff that I picked up on that I didn't think about in the first one because I didn't know. So I definitely recommend it. I really enjoyed it, and not just on like a horror spoof level, but it was just a fun movie. I think that even you would have fun with it.
I am actually very interested in it. I mean, we talked about it a little bit the other day, and from what you're saying now, I'm definitely interested.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's a cool movie. Let's talk about some Amazon deals. To get these incredible deals, just go to our site at filmpulse.net and either click on the Amazon banner and shop as you would normally, or click on the store link and check out some of our favorites and what we've been talking about on the show. First up, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Blu-ray, $7.99 on that.
Oh, pick it up.
Yes.
Classic.
That's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, I've seen that movie. I don't know how many, like 30 times probably.
And anytime it's on TV, you just have to watch it.
Yeah, you do.
You just got to stick with it.
Yeah, what was it? Comedy Central used to play that all summer long.
Yep. It's just a phenomenal movie. Then we have one for Ryan. This is Hunt for Red October.
Yes.
$7.99. I don't even remember. Barely remember Hunt for Red October. I was never a big fan of the little submarine craze we had back in the 90s.
Yeah.
We had like that and Crimson Tide. That was the submarine one, right? And I feel like there was probably more.
There was. Now we got archery.
Yeah, now we have archery. The only other one I want to mention is The Usual Suspects for $7.99 on Blu-ray.
Are you kidding me?
Yep. So
That's a classic.
that's a classic. Well. Absolute classic. If you don't own those on Blu-ray, now's your chance to pick them up. It's a good deal. Let's talk about The Dark Knight Rises. We'll start with you, Kevin. What did you think of The Dark Knight Rises? And before we continue, I'll just say we're going to save any kind of spoilers till later. So let's just talk about what we thought of it. And then maybe if we have some spoilers to talk about, we can do that afterwards.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. There's a part of me that thinks that it's almost better than the second one, or not almost better. I mean, it's almost as good as the second one. To me, the second one, The Dark Knight, was just perfection at every single level, whether it be editing, audio, everything. I thought was perfect in the second one. This one, The Dark Knight Rises, I thought I enjoyed the story more, but I mean, there were some plot holes that were a little tough to overcome. But as a whole, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I have a feeling that some people had their expectations up way too high. I mean, I knew going into it that it wasn't going to be better than The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
But I think some people were expecting it to be like blow The Dark Knight out of the water.
I didn't. Now, I think in general, I agree with you on all your points. I really liked it, and the more that it sits with me, the more I think I liked it, and I would like to rewatch it. I'd like to go see it again, just to make sure, to see anything that I missed, or just to really take everything in, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie. It's a big movie. It's huge.
And I know that I did miss, I actually missed parts at the beginning because I had to go to the bathroom, which was extremely unfortunate. I'm sitting there waiting. We get into the theater like a half an hour early. And I'm like, don't have to go to the bathroom. As soon as the movie starts, I'm like, oh, damn it.
It's always how it is.
It is.
And see, with a movie like that, you never know when to get up, because essentially that movie plays out like basically a 2-hour and 45-minute montage.
Yeah.
There's so much happening, and there's some really tiny scenes, and then there's some longer scenes, but the way that it's edited and shot, it's a lot faster.
Yeah. And I also knew that, Christopher Nolan always starts off with crazy opening scene. It's usually the best scene in the entire movie is the opening. Just how it's filmed, how it slowly unfolds. And I had to say that this movie was no exception. I loved the opening scene. That was insane.
Yeah, it was very good, very solid. I did have some issues with the movie, and for the most part, they're pretty minor. I thought that the action set pieces were fairly mediocre in comparison to the other the Nolan Batman movies, and just action movies in general. I thought that they were pretty basic action scenes, nothing that simply blew me away.
Yeah.
I thought that the fight scenes between Batman and Bane were kind of generic as well. I didn't like the look of the Batwing. I thought it was weird looking, and I didn't like that. But, these are all just minor quibbles. These are just things that I noticed. And I guess my question to you, Kevin, the way that I looked at it was I felt that this film was a great companion piece to the other two. I thought that it was a great conclusion to the story. Now, if you look at The Dark Knight Rises by itself as a standalone film, just not including the other two, do you think it stands up better as a standalone film, or do you think that it works better more as a companion piece, a conclusion to the trilogy?
I think it works better as a companion piece. Because, I mean, I think you definitely have to see Batman Begins to fully understand The Dark Knight Rises, which I thought they did a really good job with that, tying everything together. And like we talked about before, not while we were recording, but after we both saw the movie, it was, again, I wish I got to see, or I wish I had the foresight to watch Batman Begins and then go see The Dark Knight Rises. But, I mean, it actually did do a pretty good job, because as I'm watching the movie and they're talking about things from Batman Begins, I was sitting there like, oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. But I have a feeling, though, that I still miss some things. I think I got the overall scope of the entire trilogy, but I think that I missed some small things.
Yeah. I agree. I think that, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. People are saying, oh, well, but you shouldn't judge this based off of The Dark Knight. And yet, when you see this movie, you have to. You have to take into account the other two films, because it plays out like a big story. And the big part about, especially the conclusion of The Dark Knight Rises, is that it wraps the other two films together. Mm-hmm. You know, it includes elements of the first film, it includes elements of the second film, and it puts everything together into a really cohesive, nice package. And I think that you have to judge this based on the other two.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the ideal thing to do would be to judge all three movies as a whole.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. I think with Christopher Nolan, he really had that in mind with the whole Batman trilogy, is that he wanted to have them all be together. I mean, they were filmed at different times, but it seems like he took a lot of time and effort to have everything be together.
Right.
So I think you do have to look at it and sort of grade it that way.
And you can even say that about the plots in each of the three movies. They all kind of have the same central theme to them. And I think that works really, really well.
Yes.
How he was able to make this, I mean, make three completely separate movies, yet they all have kind of the same general message. And I just thought that worked really, really well.
I agree. Like I said earlier, the second film to me was perfect in just a film sense. Like every single department was perfect. This movie, like I said, the story was great. I enjoyed the cinematography. There was just, I know that I was really struck by the second one. It's just the audio, the sound mixing, everything sounded amazing. I've never really been struck by that in a movie. And that was like the first movie that made me go like, holy shit, this sounds so damn real.
I actually had some issues with the sound in this one.
In this one, I didn't have that. I never really had any moment where I was like, oh my god. I mean, I had moments that were pretty great, but
they had that same kind of the same score playing almost the entire movie. And I also had some issues with Batman's voice.
Oh yeah, of course. But I mean, if you do think about Batman, the only reason I never had a problem with Batman's voice is because if you sort of think about it logically, think about a very rich guy
Well, yeah, I
who
mean,
decides to be a superhero, and he has to mask his voice so people don't know about him. He's probably going to pick like an overtly, like, I'm such a hard ass.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I know that that's why they do it, but I just don't like.
Yeah, it is.
He
It is
sounds
tough.
ridiculous to me.
Yeah, it is.
And I also had issues with Bane's voice. I think that that's something that a lot of people are criticizing. And I heard, I don't know if you remember, but in the first few trailers they came out with for The Dark Knight, it was before they changed his voice.
Yeah, you couldn't understand him.
And I still had problems understanding some of the things he said in the movie. I feel like there were certain scenes where the music was playing and he was talking. And there was a couple scenes when even Batman was talking and the music was playing, and I had to like look over at Ryan and be like, wait a minute, what did he say? Like
That's why I watch movies with subtitles, man. Every single movie, subtitles.
when you're in an IMAX, you shouldn't.
I know
have
it's
that issue.
yeah. That's
and it's that is a sound mixing issue.
yeah.
When I can't tell what somebody's saying, and I thought Bane's voice, I don't know how it would have sounded originally, because in the trailer you only hear him say that one line or whatever.
Yeah.
But this one sounded really, really strange to me. It didn't sound like Tom Hardy.
No, it was odd, but at the same time, I thought that added something to it, because his voice, number one, doesn't sound badass at all. It's a very odd, very peculiar voice, but it's a strange juxtaposition to what he is as a human being, which is he's like an animal, like a beast. The dude is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it. Tom Hardy is ridiculous.
Yeah, go see Warrior Bronson.
He's ridiculous.
You can see how huge he is.
And I forget where I read, but it says that like he only gained 30 pounds for this movie. 30 pounds, that's it.
We talked about it off the air, but I've noticed that in the film, they use a lot of upward angles in the film when they would show him to make him look even more gigantic, like as far as his height. Because I don't know how tall he is in real life, but I don't think he's like a super tall guy.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how tall he is.
But in the film, he did look like a freaking giant.
Yeah. I mean, it blows my mind that people, and we talked about it way early on another episode. I think when I talked about Warrior, he's just ridiculous. The things, I still don't know what those muscles are called, because I didn't even know they existed. The ones that like right at the base of your neck.
Sounds like somebody might have a little man crush on Mr. Tom Hardy.
No, I didn't know they existed. What the hell are they?
I don't know. Hardy muscles? I'm going to call them Hardy muscles.
It's ridiculous.
How did you feel about Anne Hathaway?
I actually enjoyed Anne Hathaway. This is the first time where I actually enjoyed Catwoman. I've never been a fan of Catwoman, and
Michelle Pfeiffer?
No, all of them. I mean, I did have a little bit of problem with the whole, the banter back and forth between her and Bruce Wayne and Batman, especially when they get in the Batwing.
Ugh.
Oh God, why did they have that in there?
Yeah, there were a couple pretty cheesy lines in it, but I agree. I thought that she did a really good job. In fact, I wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see her do more, like maybe some more kind of stealing things, sneaking into places, just knocking dudes out, being a badass.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I do agree with Nolan's statement that he thinks Catwoman should have her own sort of spin-off, her own movie to I guess, right the terrible wrong of Holly Berry,
I think
which we did earlier with Ryan.
Yeah, you can listen to Ryan Watches a Movie 24 to hear his thoughts on Halle Berry's Catwoman. He did not like it.
No, he did
He
not.
did not like that one.
Not at all.
Yeah, overall, I thought that Catwoman was pretty cool. I was actually worried about that. It's one of the things I was worried about when seeing the trailers and reading about it and stuff, and I thought that it turned out really good. And I really like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, as always.
Yeah, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt was good. Yeah, he's won me over in the last couple of years. I was never really into him, and slowly, he's won me over.
Rock from the Sun? Are you kidding me?
Oh, I hated that show.
I thought he was great in it, but I like pretty much everything that he's in. Talk about man crush.
Ooh, man crushes
I got a little
all
man
around.
crush on the Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, okay.
Except for maybe in G.I. Joe.
He was in G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. He's in G.I. Joe.
Terrible decision.
Yes. Did you want to add anything else before we went into spoilers?
I'm trying to think. Don't think so. Let's spoil the shit out of this movie.
Okay. We're going to do spoilers now, so if you haven't seen the movie, please just fast forward. The time codes will be on the show notes, so make sure you look at that. Just to warn you, we are in a spoiler zone.
Spoiler zone.
Spoiler zone, here we go. Really, the only thing, I don't think there's a lot to spoil with this movie except for the end. And I thought that the end was awesome, but the big reveal, I guess, it was that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character's real name was Robin, and that Bruce Wayne was sort of stepping down and handing the reins over to Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character.
Yeah.
And I feel like the whole Robin thing was just fan service, and I almost feel like it was something that was added into the movie after the script was originally written, because it felt like Bruce Wayne was gonna retire and like keep the Batman mantle going by having Joseph Gordon-Levitt be Batman. And then I feel like they were like, oh, we should add the Robin thing in, you know?
Yeah. I didn't like the way that they did it. I wish they would have just did it more like a more subtle way that you really had to sort of figure it out on your own. Just like a short glimpse at him like handing over his ID or something, instead of just the woman going, "You should use your full name, Robin." It's like, are you serious? You got to just like spell it out for me?
Well, see, that's the other thing that I think it must have been added later, because up until this point, although none of the Nolan Batman movies follow the comic books to a T, the broad strokes are still pretty much the same, and he never changed any of the people's names, and I can't even remember Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character's name.
I think it was John Blake.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a Tim Drake that was Robin. There's Dick Grayson.
Yeah,
but you would think that if they planned on having him be Robin, they wouldn't have named him Robin. They would have given him the name of that character.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe they just, at the very end, they just decided like, people are going to love this. Let's just do this. And they just added that one, because it's really only that one scene.
Yeah.
With the woman saying, oh, we should be Robin. Like, that felt tacked on to me. And I didn't feel like we needed it. Because if we're supposed to feel like he's going to be Robin, then where's Batman? Because you can't, let's be real, Kevin. You can't have Robin without a Batman.
No.
So,
no.
I thought that was, I mean, it was, again, minor quibble. I think none of it even matters because the trilogy's ended anyway.
Yeah. The only big quibble that I have which I don't know if you can say big quibble. I think quibble implies small, but never mind that. But the big thing that I had a problem with was Batman being in the prison. He's got a broken back, so much so that a vertebrae is sticking out, and a guy has to like punch it in. And yet he can recover from that, climb out of that pit, and make it the whole way back to Gotham.
Yeah.
When all the bridges are shut down, they're all exploded. And he has no money. How the hell did he get back in?
That's what I was wondering. When he just shows up, I was like, wait a minute.
He just pops up.
I mean, he is Batman, though. So.
Yeah, but it wasn't even... Like, I can't remember the exact amount of time that he was in the pit compared to when they were going to detonate the bomb. But wasn't it only like a month and a half or 2 months or something like that?
It wasn't that long, but I'm a little unclear, and I might have to rewatch it, but I don't know if they hinted at how long he was in there for.
I think they did, because when he's watching the TV, I think it had like a countdown.
Yeah,
of
I was trying to
81 days to go or something. And I'm like, you cannot recuperate from a broken back like that. Number one, I don't think the guy would even be able to walk anymore.
No, maybe it wasn't broken. I mean, they never said it was broken. Maybe Bane just like snapped his spine out of alignment or something.
Yeah,
or maybe he like, because they said that he popped that vertebrae. Maybe that's what happened. One of his vertebrae got, out of whack.
Yeah,
because
and that's essentially broken back. I mean, if ask anyone that's ever had like a disc slip or something like that, you don't just recover in like a month and just like doing push-ups like crazy and making ridiculous jumps without ropes.
Maybe because those people aren't Batman.
Maybe. But then again, I mean, for me, it's a superhero movie. This is a superhero, okay? So like most of that stuff goes out the window with me. I just sort of think about it after the fact where I'm like, man, that's ridiculous. There's no way that would happen.
Yeah, but I mean...
I count that out.
I didn't really have a problem with it. Yes, I thought about it, but I didn't have a problem with it because there's like... You could probably say like, well, we don't know the extent of the injury and all this stuff because he was still able to walk. You know? Like if they really snapped his back, he'd be completely paralyzed. And I think that's what happened in the comic book. Bane broke his back, and I think he ended up being like paralyzed or something for a while there.
Yeah, which I am happy. You should have seen the look on my face when that scene happened. When he, like, as soon as he picked him up, I was like, oh shit, oh shit.
And they did it
snaps.
They did it the exact same way too.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was so unbelievably happy, which is sort of terrible, but at the same time, it's just like yes.
Well, I like it that Nolan kind of just picks and chooses the things that he likes about the Batman story, and he doesn't stick with, because a lot of people say like, oh well, this was like Frank Miller's Batman and stuff, but he really just kind of cherry picks elements that he likes from the story, and I really like that. I mean, from the beginning he said that this was going to be his own spin on it, and he puts enough things in there from the comic books that will keep fans happy for the most part. Although I will say that I think that diehard Batman fans are kind of pissed at this movie.
No, I'm sure they are, but that's the number one thing. I'm in the sect that thinks that movies should not be completely based on the original source material, whether it be a comic or a novel or whatever it is. It should just be inspired by it.
Right.
Loose adaptation. I mean, if you want the T, the same exact thing, just read the book again or read the comic again. Just imagine it in your head.
Well, Well, I think, did you have any other spoilers? Well, I have some other things to say regarding the whole comic book versus movie thing, but I can do that outside of the spoilers.
I'm trying to think of any other spoilers. I don't think so. I don't think I have any more.
Okay. And we're back. There was a couple other things that I wanted to say just regarding the whole comic book versus movie thing. And I'm a huge Batman fan. Big Batman fan. And I didn't have any kind of issues with it being different. I mean, you look at The Walking Dead. Walking Dead is a phenomenally successful comic book and a phenomenally successful TV show. The TV show does not mirror the comic book. It's different. And that is a shining example of I don't want it to be the same because the comic book just had its 100th issue this past month. So if everything's the exact same, there's nothing to surprise me. There's nothing new. And when you look at comic books, especially superhero books, they get reinvented all the time.
Yeah, because
alternate stories, alternate universes.
And I think especially with, superheroes like Batman, Superman, any of these, or like Spider-Man, any of these superheroes that have been around for a long time, they have to change with the times. I mean, if we're still doing Batman like it was back in like the 60s, we'd all be sitting around going like, are you kidding me? Is this a joke?
Yeah.
Really? Like, pow, kazam. Like, this is ridiculous. So, I mean, you have to change it with the times, but I also like to see other people's interpretations of the character. I don't want to just see the same thing over and over again. What fun is that?
As long as the fundamentals are there, there's certain things that simply have to be the way they are.
Yeah, like the integrity of the character. Right. Like if someone came out, like say they reboot Batman in like 5 years, or the way Hollywood works, probably like the end of like September, and they make him from like outer space or something, then I would be like, whoa, what the hell? What are you doing?
Right, because Bruce Wayne's parents need to be dead. They need to have been killed because that's what makes him who he is. It's the same with Spider-Man. Uncle Ben needs to have been killed by somebody that Peter Parker could have stopped. And that's just how it has to be because that's how that character was crafted.
Yeah, that's what drives them.
And anything else is extraneous. So really, the character and what makes the character that character, I believe, needs to be a constant through any story. And
the only other thing for me that would be for Batman is one of the main reasons that I like him the most is because he's just a guy.
Oh yeah, well I don't think
he doesn't.
They would never do that.
Well, I mean, you never know. Some guy might get that crazy thought in his head. Let's make him from outer space.
Let's make Batman like an actual mutant bat that has wings.
He was bitten by a mutant bat.
Yeah, they would. That's another thing that they can never change that.
No.
But who knows? I mean, did you see they're currently running the Before Watchmen series where they're doing all these Watchmen prequels and people are just losing their shit over these, saying that they should not exist and that's ruining, probably the greatest comic book series ever made.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're really, but apparently, I mean, I haven't read any of them yet, but apparently a few of them are pretty good. So I don't think that they are tarnishing the Watchmen name, but at the same time, I doubt they're adding anything to it.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts on The Dark Knight Rises? Oh, real quick, score out of 10. What do you think?
Out of 10, I would give it 8.5.
Oh, 8.5. Okay.
Yeah, an 8.5.
My original thoughts when I left the film, 7. Since I had some time to let the movie sink in, 7.5.
Now, I do have to say, I think I will probably, once this comes out, I'll probably do like all 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises.
I do plan on seeing it again, and after I see it again, that 7.5 may be bumped up. I need to revisit it and go into it already knowing what I'm going to be in for. That way I can eliminate any kind of expectations I had that may have, affected how I felt about the film.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's a great movie. I'm sure that if you're listening to this, you probably already saw it. I think everybody's already seen it by this point.
Yeah.
So, there you have it. That is 2 solid recommendations for The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand people that hated it. I don't understand how you can hate this movie. I mean, even if you didn't dislike it, it's still a technically sound movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, even the fanboys, I don't think have any reason to bitch because I am a fanboy. I love comic books, and this is a great movie. Period.
Yeah.
So, all you fanboys that hate on this movie, go fuck yourself.
Ooh.
Because it's good. But at the same time, I think that you can look at it on the other side of the coin where there's some people that already had it in their head that this movie is perfection before going into it. And
yeah,
even though I will say that there are problems with this movie, and there's some people that just will not see that. They have the blinders on.
Yeah.
I think that, there are certainly some movies that do that for me, like Wes Anderson, where I just can't see any flaws in those movies.
Yeah, that's true.
But
does happen.
You just got to do your best to go in with an open mind, not feeling one way or the other, and, just analyze the movie for what it is. Okay, let's go over our predictions. We only made one for last week, and that was The Dark Knight Rises. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Only one.
That was it. I said 95, you said 96, actual 86.
Wow.
Yep,
told you there's going to be those people.
Of course. Yeah, I think there was a lot more of those people.
Yeah.
What we anticipated.
Yeah, because they got their expectations up way too high.
Yep. And we could have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Let's go over what's coming out this week. We have Killer Joe. This is
finally.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, we're not going to see it.
Not like it's going to be in any main theater.
No.
It's rated NC-17. This is the one with Emile Hirsch and Matthew McConaughey and Gina Gershon. Who else am I missing? There's a bunch of other people in it. Thomas Hayden Church, right?
Yeah. Juno Temple?
Yes, Juno Temple is in it. Yeah, she plays the sister. This is directed by William Friedkin, who did The Exorcist, among many others. What was his... Bug, I think, was his last one.
Yeah, which I think was also based on a Tracy Letts play.
Yes, I think you're right. This looks awesome. I've been hearing nothing but great things about this. I'm going to say, but at the same time, I think that the graphic nature of the film will turn off some critics.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say...
Something involves fried chicken.
That's what I heard.
Yep.
And Gina Gershon and fried chicken.
Yep. Sexual nature. Fried chicken.
I'll be curious to see that. Sounds pretty terrible. I'm going to say like 76 on this one.
Okay. I was going to go like a 71.
Okay. Then we have The Watch, the new Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill, Richard. I always get his Iote.
I always say Iode.
Iode.
I don't know. I have no idea though. I've never heard anyone say it, which is my fault because I'm sure that it's all over the internet.
Probably.
And I could easily look it up and be like, that's exactly how you pronounce his name. But I refuse to. So,
either way, very talented guy. I'm hoping to see him in more roles in America, and I think that hopefully this movie will help perpetuate that.
Yes. Agree.
I don't know. What do you think on the watch?
I have really high hopes for this movie. It looks hilarious. I'm gonna go like 77.
Ooh, I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna say 65.
Okay.
Going lower. I don't.
Comedies are always tough because everyone has a very specific sense of humor, and it's really tough to get like a broad stroke and catch everyone and make everyone laugh.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think it looks funny. I mean, I think it's going to be really funny, unless it's one of those deals where they put everything that's really funny in the trailer.
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
I'm very worried about that.
I mean, it's written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, and they're pretty funny dudes. And you got Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill, Richie Ayoade. Should be pretty funny. Notice I didn't mention Ben Stiller because most of the time he's not funny.
Are you kidding me? Night at the Museum, too?
Nope. Smile.
Notice how I put the 2 on the end of Night at the Museum.
Nope.
Then we have Step Up Revolution.
Really?
Yeah, Step Up Revolution.
How many Step Up movies are there?
I think this is the 4th.
No. This is the 5th.
Oh,
4th
really?
was Step Up 4, Miami Heat.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even.
Oh, never mind.
That.
Never mind. That one's called. Underneath of it, it says Step Up Revolution. So I guess that's another name for it. It's another name for it, I guess.
I was gonna say I was not aware of that because my girlfriend's pretty into dancing, so dance movies.
So this is the one that's Channing Tatum started with.
Yes, Step Up was the one that he was in. He had a little cameo in the second one too.
Oh, okay.
You like how I know that?
I do.
I'm gonna say 23.
I have no idea how to.
Well, you could probably look at the other ones. I mean, I don't know what the others got, but I'm sure that they were terrible.
I'm gonna say. What do you say? 23?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 20.
Probably a good choice. Probably a good choice.
20.
And then finally, I don't think that this is going to get wide release, but Ruby Sparks. I'm not sure if you've seen anything about this.
I've seen about it. I haven't seen the trailer, though. For some reason, I'm not interested at all in this movie, even though...
Absolutely not.
I like the directors, but for some reason, I could care less.
I could also care less. We've seen it before. It's about a writer who brings his character to life, like literally to life.
Get out.
Yeah. We've seen this before. I'm going to say I don't know. You start with this one.
I'm going to go with a 51.
I'll say 60.
Okay.
I don't know. It doesn't look great to me. And I'm sure it won't be.
Yeah, it should be. They're the directors of Little Miss Sunshine, which was great, but this, yeah.
The kid from Little Miss Sunshine is the main character.
Paul Dano,
yeah.
Does he play essentially the same character that he always plays?
Troubled writer?
I guess. Something like that.
Troubled person?
Mm-hmm.
I think in this one he looks kind of more neurotic, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, he's certainly more talkative in this one than in Little Miss Sunshine.
There's a good number of people in this, though. Steve Coogan, Antonio Banderas, Annette Bening, Ellie Shawkat.
Still have no desire. No desire.
Me either. Unless someone changes my mind.
Yep. Well, I think that does it for another show. For all the latest film news and reviews, you can hit us up at filmpulse.net, and we want to hear your feedback. Send us an email at feedback@filmpulse.net or call our voicemail line at 850-391-6071. Also, please take a minute to rate us on iTunes. We appreciate that greatly. For filmpulse.net, my name is Adam.
I'm Kevin.
And we will see you on Wednesday for Ryan Watches a Movie.